What's up, guys? It's been a minute. If you're still around, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. Today we're going to be discussing, I've had this car, it'll be a year here in 2 weeks, I think. January 17th. It'll be a year of owning this Mustang. I'm just gonna, go over some things I've noticed, talk about some things that if I could redo this, would I pick a S650 over this, or would I pick this again? And, just some opinions I have on it. Some things that maybe I would have added to my order, or some things I maybe would have taken off my order. But we're gonna let the car warm up. Let the car warm up, and then let the car warm up, then I'll pull it out of the garage to the driveway so we can kind of do a walk around, because there's some things that, really one thing that's already showing some kind of like wear and tear, so I'm going to kind of point that out. And honestly, I wouldn't even say it's wear and tear, it's probably my fault, not really paying attention to what I'm doing when I open the door. But yeah, we'll talk about that. So we'll let the car warm up for a second before I pull it out, and then we'll go over some things. So like I've said, it's been about 1 year of ownership on this car. I've got just over 16,000 miles on it. We're just going to talk about some things that I've noticed wear and tear wise. Really, it's not anything with the car, it's kind of my fault. One thing I noticed is when I open this door handle, I kind of tend to pull it up, and so you can kind of see there, push it down a little bit. That's probably my fault from just like pulling up on it. I could probably get Ford to adjust that, maybe. Because this side, my girlfriend rides with me, but it's not really like that because she doesn't ride in the car that often. But that's just one of the things I've noticed. Overall, this car has been amazing. If I had the chance to redo it, I would still pick this over the S650 just because I like the interior better. The outside of the S650 is cool, but I like the rear end of these. They just look a little meaner. If I had the chance to reorder this, I think I would order it the exact same. I would just add the performance pack to it just to get that spoiler. I plan to add the spoiler to it anyways, but just to get the Magna ride and stuff, I think it would have been worth it. With that being said, I wouldn't have ordered it with these wheels, but since I didn't get the performance pack, I went ahead and upgraded these wheels because they look good with the paint, in my opinion. For me, the active valve exhaust was a must because it's nice to have that quiet start option so you don't piss your neighbors off. And I know some people don't care because a lot of Mustang people, they'll go and they'll just throw a Corsa exhaust. In my opinion, this stock exhaust sounds way better than any Corsa exhaust. I think Corsa sounds like shit. I feel like people just get it because it's loud, but it doesn't sound good in my opinion. It's just, it's really high-pitched and raspy. I would definitely do the red seats again. The red was a must for me. I would do the 6-speed again. One thing I noticed after a year, I'm gonna close this so I can sit in the heat. One thing I noticed after a year of ownership is this transmission takes a long time to warm up. Like, it's shifting now because I'm not driving, but as soon as I give a little gas, you can see that oil pressure gauge goes up. Car's still cold, but shifting right now, this would be stiff in certain gears. It's just not fully warmed up. It takes probably 30. With it being, it says 42 degrees, it's probably less than 40 degrees outside. This probably takes a good 30 minutes to 45 minutes to be fully warm, and that's just with driving. I usually let my car sit for 10-15 minutes warming up before I drive it. And you know, that's not a big deal. Like, I'm not gonna go straight to bogging down on my car, but it does take a long time to warm up. Another thing I noticed is these gauges, you can't really rely on them. They're kind of like, in my opinion, they're kind of just there. Like, you can kind of rely on the temperature gauge, and I mean, when the car, probably after that 30 minutes of letting the car warm up, you can rely on this and it's a little more accurate. But right now, if you look at where that oil pressure gauge is sitting, all it takes is a little bit of gas and that thing jumps up to 100. And that's just due to the car not being warm, and these gauges really aren't accurate. I've read a lot of forums where they're like, yeah, you need an aftermarket one to really get your gauge pressure right, and things like that. But anyways, long story short, year of ownership. I love the car. I would do it over again. If I did it over again, I would either look at getting a Mach 1. If Mach 1 wasn't in my budget at that time, I would look at just adding the performance pack to this. These would be my options if I reordered this exact car. I would get the silver paint. I'd get the red interior. I would opt out of the 12 speaker system. I don't have the 12 speaker. I've lived with the 9 speaker system for a year, and it is plenty loud, plenty of bass. Save your money there. I would opt out. I wouldn't get any of the optional upgraded rims because I would just get the performance pack, which would come with the nicer wheels, and then I would upgrade those wheels anyways, just to have silver to go with the silver paint, the whole silver bullet concept. Definitely the 401A package. This was a must for me getting the car, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This is amazing. This is why I prefer the S550 over the 650, is because this feels more, I wouldn't say this doesn't feel less cheap than the S650, but it feels more solid. It feels like more of a solid build quality than the S650. Like, I'm gonna be honest, every car now has that big tablet, that big dash screen. You can look at BMWs, you can look at Mercedes, you can look at a lot of SUVs have it now. You can look at Chevys, you can look at the Silverados, the GMC trucks, they all have that tablet. I will give GMC and Chevy props that they actually kind of put that into their dash so it looks a little nicer. But a lot of cars have that now. They're just almost like just some basic screen that they all use, and they just put their own programming on it. I feel like this could be a lot cooler if they allowed us to program these with, you know, the Fox body gauges and things like that. But that's just my opinion, especially right now with these being used. They're well under sticker price. You can find these for, you know, in the 30,000s for low miles. Just my opinion, but I would go for one of these over the S650. S650 is cool, don't get me wrong. It is cool. It's just not my cup of tea. But I would definitely do this whole car again, except with the performance pack, I think is what I'm missing. Not a huge deal, but I think it would have been nice to have. And this is just a quick video. This is just a quick video to get me back into making these videos. You know, this has been 1 year with this car. Before this car, I only lasted maybe 6 months at most with a car. I plan to keep this one, get it paid off, keep it, have a truck as a daily. But I would do it over again. Like, if it was, you know, time travel back to then, I would make the same decision that I made to get this car. It has been amazing. It's reliable. It's had no issues. The only issue I have on it right now is just some recall that I have to take it in for and get the computer system updated. But it's been an amazing car. And the MT82 hasn't been bad. It just takes a long time to warm up to where it's smooth shifting. I I haven't had any lockouts in it or anything. It's been good. It's been a great car, a great 16,000 miles, and hopefully this next year I'll be able to get a truck so that I don't go another 16,000 miles this next year. But if that doesn't happen, then I'll enjoy driving this car every day. It's a blast. Definitely worth it. I test drove a Camaro before I got this. I'm a Mustang guy, but I test drove a Camaro. It was a manual. It was nice, but it is not the same feeling. This feels a lot more comfortable than a Camaro. Definitely a lot less blind spots. But if you got the money, 401A package, active valve exhaust, and performance pack, the 3 must-have options if you get a Mustang. And I would say that's probably the same with the S650s. Their options are a little bit different, but I would say those 3 are probably still the same. But I'm gonna end this video right here and call it a day, and you guys enjoy the new year. This year I plan to start modding out the car. I'm gonna start with the performance pack spoiler and then go from there. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.